Anthony, you gonna say something?
I just want to.
There it is.
I'm trying to be very respectful to everybody because they deserve it.
Why?
Let me say that. No, because you deserve it. But let me say this. I don't think Washington understands how ticked off we truly are. Think about the conversation that we're having right now. You brought up the single-payer system, emulating Canada. You know, we're looking at a president that just gave $20 billion to Argentina. We're hearing about or witnessing what I consider to be a retribution tour. And even though to some degree I don't blame him because of how people went after him, still it appears to be counterproductive. We're listening to this kind of stuff while a young man walked up to the microphone and said that he had to leave here to go and work on DoorDash to help pay for his daughter's tuition. Meanwhile, everybody up here getting paid. But he ain't. This is this kind of stuff right here. That's how you know, and I'm not accusing any of you directly or personally of feeling this way. I'm just talking about the apparatus that is Washington, the nation's capital. This is why you have so many Americans, excuse my language, so pissed off at Washington, because somehow, some way, you get to have these conversations, engage in specific elements of it to talk about what we need to do to get things better. Our debt is $37.8 trillion. Somehow, some way, the taxpayer's been paying this, been throwing money, because we all look at our check, and it's been going to the government. And somehow, some way, you're supposed to be doing something constructive and productive enough to make sure that we don't have that kind of deficit. It isn't happening. A government shutdown is going on right now. A man has to work on DoorDash when he's really an air traffic controller that we applauded. And we're up here talking about how much some money is going to cost. And the only person that don't have a check coming is him. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a break.
So before we get back to this, because I want to see if there's anything more to this. This is one of the rare instances where I partially almost fully agree with Stephen A. Smith, because one thing I think that Stephen A. Smith does, and he does it very, very well, is he tries to conflate different things and he tries to play both sides. He wants to hold the Democrats accountable. He wants to hold the Republicans accountable. But this is one of the rare instances where you have to say, especially where Congress is controlling the purse strings, and that's the main job that they have, you have to lay this squarely in Congress's lap, and you need them to work together. But see, I'm still not going for it. And the reason that I'm not going for it is because, yes, we can say, hey, man, y'all need to get y'all stuff together and make sure things play out the way that it's supposed to play out. But, I mean, we just have to start digging into the details and the context. And as long as you have a party, the Democrat Party, that is dead set on trying to do something that we know is not in the best interest of people, but they have to get some victory. They have to get some level of victory in order for themselves, not even for the American people, just to say, I got one up on you. This never happened during the Biden administration. This never happened during the Biden administration. I mean, even when we had illegal migrants coming over into this country, even when we was in a position where they was basically leveraging that and saying that they needed to get bills passed and they needed extra money in order for them to be able to get legislation to stop people from coming over here into the country illegally. We seen the CHIPS Act pass. We seen so much shit that was going on and so much bloat that was happening inside of the federal government. And now you see Democrats that know that they don't have a chance in hell, and they continue to try to leverage the federal government so that they can use a talking point that ultimately helps illegal migrants get health care inside of the United States of America. And they want to hold up the federal government, and they willing to shut this shit down. I just did a review video, respectfully. I'm going to come back to this video in a second. I just did a review video of Jasmine Crockett. And Jasmine Crockett said that under no circumstances was she opening up this government. And This is the complete opposite of what all of these Democrats, including Hakeem Jeffries, said previously that they had to do. That you had to keep funding the federal government while negotiating and debating on the House floor for long-term resolution for whatever it is that y'all wanted. And you had to have some level of bipartisan agreement, meaning that you have to give some to get some in order to be able to do that. We don't see the Democrats saying we need to work together. And I'm just keeping it real. Listen, Stephen A. Smith, again, is the master of playing both sides. And I don't like what's happening over here with the Trump administration. And I'm not really fond of this over there. Because Stephen A. Smith don't want to definitively pick a side because he want to play both sides because A, is profitable, and B, it seems like he's being objective. The reality is this. There is a villain in this situation, and it's not just politicians. It's not just the government. First of all, I don't believe that Congress should be getting paid at all. If the government shut down, it has to start at the top, and they should be foregoing a paycheck. We know the Trump administration has never gotten a paycheck from the federal government, specifically as far as being paid as president, ever. Like, we know this definitively. This is a fact. He's always donated his salary, but also he doesn't need the salary. But my point is this. My whole point is this, is that if you have to hold people accountable, you just can't say a group. You got to start picking individual people, and you got to start pointing the finger. These people is holding the federal government hostage. That is the reason why your air traffic controllers are not getting paid, or they getting partially paid, and they doing whatever it is that they got to do in order to do DoorDash. But at this point, they should almost know that this was happening and this was coming a long time ago.
Don't have a check coming is him. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a break.
All right. Thank you for
I think that was performative. It was 100% performative, but I think that he did have some good talking points. And again, Stephen A. Smith has been everywhere and he's been going viral. And, a lot of what he says has some truth to it. And I respect him. I respect his hustle. I respect his grind. I respect his opinion. I respect his ability to be able to transition away from just sports and being able to talk about popular culture and politics and all of this stuff. Even if he's not the most knowledgeable person on it, I respect his ability to jump into that arena and then also leverage that in order to get more visibility for his platform. But again, we all know where it's coming from. We know that they holding everybody money hostage. I don't think that it's a secret. I do think that, I didn't anticipate for the government to be shut down this long. I didn't think the Democrats was going to hold out this long. But it sounds like it's no end in sight. And maybe this is going to be going on through November as of the recording of this video. So I just think that if you're a government worker, if you're a person that depends on some entity of the government in order to continue to get paid, even if you're somebody that depends on something that's an ancillary or an additional place to get paid to do certain things, hey, do your thing. Be careful. You got to do what you got to do. That's what regular people do every single day. They got to grind. They got to hustle. I do think that this also proves that a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're also saying that a lot of people that get SNAP benefits and, all of the social services stuff don't expect a paycheck coming in November or don't expect benefits coming in November. And I also think that there's a bigger play here. But I'll talk about that in the other things. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. It doesn't look like it's any end in sight. People need to gird up. Only people that really got a full paycheck, I heard, was military members, and they should get paid. But we'll see what happens. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to keep y'all in the loop.